Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I want to share some quick tips for the connection between Business Central and Microsoft Flow. So I have a previous video for the Business Central for the configuration of Microsoft Flow for the purchase order approval. So if you watch that video, first you have to create a Microsoft Flow with the template, with the purchase order document approval template. And then after you enable that flow, then you will have a workflow created in Business Central. So sometimes you will find your connection, sometimes you will find it does not work anymore. Like when you send a request for purchase order approval and the order status changed from open to pending approval, but there's no email notification. So that's why I want to create this video and to tell you what you have to pay attention to for that workflow to work. Okay, so first let's go to flow. So you see when I go to my flow first, if you click on my flow, then you have some connections you need to fix. You have to make sure you have to fix them. Otherwise your flow may not work. Let's fix the connection first. So this connections issue may be because you are using multiple accounts. Like for me, sometimes I have to use my account, my company account. Sometimes I have to use my customer's account to log into Office 365 and my browser. So I have to switch between different accounts. So when you log in, so because it's single sign-on, it will use the credential cached in one of the application for other applications. So sometimes it may confuse the application, and then you are not sending anymore to your Flow account. So you have to fix the connection. You have to make sure you're using your account to sign in, because if you log in with somebody else's account in this browser, and then it cannot sign into this anymore. So that's allowed to fix this connection. Okay, so let's go back to our flow to see if that connection has been fixed. So it's still not fixed yet, so I have to click on this fix connection again. Then you see this pop-up window for the Power Apps. Then you have to make sure, you see I have different accounts, some of my customers' account also there. So I have to make sure I make the flow to connect to my company account to fix this connection. Okay. Okay, so this connection has been fixed. So then you can go to my flow. Then you can see I have that request approval for Dynamic 365 Business Central purchase order. So this, then you can take a look when it was run last time. So you could see, so yesterday it was running, and it succeeded for October the 7th. Okay. So what you can do here, so if you found like usually let's try to create a purchase order approval in Business Central. Then I'll show you like what you have to pay attention to and how the flow is connected with Business Central. Okay, so let's see if this flow is still working, because sometimes I want to demo this to my colleague, and every time I try to demo every time I work by myself it's working, and every time I try to demo to him, then it's not working anymore. And then I found out what is the issue, because I'll show you the issue right now. Okay, so that's find the open purchase order which has amount. So that will be the order we want to send the approval request. So this purchase order is open, and then I go to request approval and send approval request. So this status changed to pending approval. Then at the same time, I should receive an email notification. If I don't, then that's the purpose of this video. Then I have to show you how to fix that, receive a new email notification for this. Okay, so it did take some time, but it won't take you over 2 minutes to receive this email notification. So you see all folders are up to date, connected to Microsoft Exchange, but I didn't receive that email notification change, right? So if that approval user setup change, then it will be something different. So my approver is still Giselle, and she has an unlimited approval limit. So it will send to my email as well, and she is the approval admin, so that's fine. And we have to make sure our workflow is still enabled. So let's go to the workflows. Then the purchase order approval, purchase. So this is the purchase order approval workflow. Is the out-of-box workflow from Business Central, and this one is from Microsoft Flow. So purchase document approval workflow is enabled. So this is fine. And so if everything, all the setup looks good, then so for this, then you have to make sure your SMTP setup is also there, and you're able to receive email notification. So this is another thing to check. And so usually what I test is send a test email to myself. If I'm able to receive this, okay, so it's being sent, then it means the email notification is working. So I receive it right away. So just for this pending approval request, I didn't receive this email notification. Okay, so I didn't receive that email notification for this, but I received the SMTP. So then we have something to look at now. So we go to see my flows. So this is the key. First thing you see, so how Microsoft Flow connected to your Business Central. Remember, in my previous videos, I mentioned like you have to make sure if you have multiple instances, then the instance here has to be the same as your flow. So I'm using this upgrade org F072AD0B instance. I have to make sure my flow also enabled there. So EC Advanced default upgrade, and it's using that same org F072AD0B. So it's using that, but this flow was just run like 2 weeks ago. It's 2 weeks ago. So then let's go back to our Business Central. This is our Business Central. Then this instance is correct, but another thing you have to make sure is under the configuration. So this select environment is for you. If you have multiple instances there, then you can switch between different instances to make sure you are connecting to the correct instance. If you click on select environment, then you will see all these instances listed here. Then you could see this upgrade, this one is enabled. So this is the right one. And another thing, so it's the connection information. This is the key. If you're wondering how Business Central connect to the flow, because previously I was thinking it's through something like when you enable the flow, then it will create a job queue entry in Business Central. But that's wrong. It's using the web service. So they're connected through the web service. And web service is this URL. So you never need to change this URL. So that's correct. And for the basic authentication, this is the key. So the reason sometimes your connection was broken because this key changed. So because I play in the Business Central a lot, and sometimes when I try to, so let's paste this key here, and let's compare with the key in your user login. Your users, if you go to your user, so I'm going to my user. Then I have to make sure that key is the same as this one here. So because this is very awkward to copy, it's not like on-premise, you can copy the cell. So this is very awkward to try to copy and highlight everything you can. Then right-click and copy. And then paste it to the notepad. Yeah, it will copy the whole thing. So sometimes your flow does not work. It's because you change this web service access key. So then after you change this web service access key in your user, so you have to go back to that flow, go back to that API information, and update that information from this configuration. So usually after you update this web service access key and you go back to your flow, that key will update automatically. So you can see it's the same. But if in case this key, there's a glitch, this key didn't update, then you can just copy that key to here and update manually, just refresh it again. Okay, so that will fix your issue. And another thing is, so actually I recorded the first part of this video on October the 22nd, and because at that time there's a bug for Microsoft, and what they're saying is under my workflows, there's multiple purchase order approval workflow associated to, so there's multiple purchase document approval workflow. Because every time when the flow link is broken and I go to the flow and I delete the flow, I think it's a connection issue and I can re-establish the connection, then I just delete that flow and recreate from the template again. Then it will generate another purchase document approval workflow. But this existing one will be still enabled. So you may have multiple enabled, even you disable some of them, but there's a bug. So what Microsoft is saying, you have to make sure you only have one workflow. Even the other one is not enabled, you have to clean them up. You have to delete them, not just leave them. So just in case it confused their confused flow. So I asked them if there's a way for their developer to advise consultants, like if there's multiple flow but there's only one enable, how we can identify which one of them is associated to the Microsoft flow. So they didn't get an answer from their developer yet. I think they will never get an answer. So, okay, so don't worry about that. So we can just delete all the other workflows, duplicate workflows. So I have another video for how to delete the duplicate workflows. So now I only have one purchase document approval workflow associated to my Microsoft flow. So now it should work. So I will show you guys it will work again now. So after you make sure the connections, everything, and so I will show you how it works again now. So that's fine. So this order is open with amount 750. So that's send approval request. Okay, so after the approval request is sent, then status will be changed to pending approval. So at the same time, after just a few moments, then you will receive an email notification. Okay, so let's see if it's happening again. Okay, so yeah. I was trying to go to my approval setup to make sure it's not changed because it's been some time. So you could see I received the email notification. As I said before, the email notification will not go to your mailbox immediately. It will take a moment, but if it's over 2 minutes, then it must be an issue because it won't be that long. So let's go to my mailbox. Then you could see this flow come in, and then you can just approve or decline or reject it as normal. So if you say approve, good to go, then click on submit at the bottom, then you will receive another. So because I have another video previously for this purchase order approval workflow, so you can watch that video, and there's some setup you can see because I'm using my email for both the approver and the requester. So that's why you will receive, I received the approval email, and I received the response for, as a requester, I received the approval request response for this email. Okay, so it's working again. So then in this video, I went through like if you have any issues with this workflow created by the Microsoft flow, then you have the steps for you to troubleshoot it. And there's 2 other videos I created previously. You can watch. One is the create a purchase order approval workflow with Microsoft Flow. Another one is the delete the duplicate workflows. How to delete the duplicate workflow. So you can watch those two videos if you don't know how to set it up. Okay, so I think that's everything for today. But as a summary, the Microsoft Flow is not very stable. So although there are some advantages, like if you are sending approval request, like if the request got approved, then the requester will receive an email notification, and it could be multiple recipients who receive this response. So the out-of-box workflow, if the approval request got approved, then you will not, as the requester, you don't receive an email notification. So that's some cons and pros if you compare the out-of-box workflow with the Microsoft Flow. But yeah, but this Microsoft Flow, like this workflow created by the Microsoft Flow, I think the biggest disadvantage is like it's not very stable. It kind of break from time to time, so you have to troubleshoot, follow the steps I showed in the video to troubleshoot by yourself. Okay, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope to see you guys again next time.